Okay, hello everyone. Thanks that you are still here. My name is Yan Nan, and I'm very glad to talk about my research, emotional tagging during hippocampus-mediated reactivation retroactively enhances memory integration for neutral events. We know that our episodic memory is a highly adaptive and flexible system. Such adaptability and flexibility are found to be supported by memory integration. This is a process that memories for related past and new experiments are stored in our brain as overlapping representations, forming integrative memory networks. For example, one day you encounter a couple, a man and a woman, they are working together. So the neurons in your brain coding the man and the neurons coding the woman are simultaneously active, and the connections are formed between these two groups of neurons coding the man-woman association. And a few days later, you encounter the woman again, and this time the woman is walking her dog. So you encode the woman-dog association. And at the same time, the woman as an overlapping cue triggers the reactivation of your initial memory, the man-woman association. Such reactivation enables the man, woman, and the dog to be integrated into the same memory network. Previous studies have observed that reactivation allows subsequent experiments to selectively modulate initial memory for related knowledge. And hippocampus and its interactions with neurocortical regions are also found to play very critical roles during memory reactivation and memory integration. However, such man-woman-dog is a very, I think, normal event in our daily life, so nothing special. So we won't have a strong impression on it, and we'll forget it very soon. How about we add some emotional color into this integration? When you encounter the woman walking her dog, and the dog suddenly barks at you, making you feel very scared. It will give you a strong impression on this dog, and also I think the impression may generalize to its owners, the woman and the man. It's well recognized that emotion can tag a modern event as important and enhances its memory by the modulation of amygdala on the hippocampus and its related neurocortical regions. However, it remains unclear how emotional tagging traces back to specific neutral events and affects their integration into episodic memory. This question is quite relevant with the formation of some affective disorders such as PTSD and phobias. So to answer this question, we developed three independent experiments with identical paradigms. In experiment 1, participants first incidentally learned 72 face-object pairs during initial encoding, and thereafter, each phase of initial encoding was presented again as a cue and conditioned by either an aversive screaming voice or a neutral voice. It developed two conditions: aversive condition with object face aversive scream associations, and neutral condition with object face and neutral voice associations. This is the emotional tagging phases. And after about 3 minutes later, associative memory test was administered to assess associative memory for face-object pairs. And in experiment 2, the reproducibility of such behavioral effects was performed by another independent research group. And in experiment 3, participants underwent fMRI scanning when performing initial encoding and emotional tagging phases with the concurrent skin conductance recording. Okay, so on behavioral level, we first examined how emotional tagging affected associative memory performance, and we found an emotion-tagged retroactive enhancement on the associative memory for face-object pairs. Pair t-test suggests that memory performance was significantly greater in aversive than neutral condition in all these 3 experiments, which also indicate a key and reliable behavioral effect. So what neuromechanisms underlie this behavioral effect? We first investigate the effects of emotional tagging on the reactivation of initial encoding activity for the face object pairs. And to measure the reactivation, we calculate the pattern similarity between initial encoding and emotional tagging phases. So higher similarity indicates a greater replay of initial encoding activity during emotional tagging. And we found that emotional tagging could promote reactivation of initial encoding activity on the task-related regions within the hippocampus and face object sensitive visual neurocortical regions. Prior t-test revealed that greater reactivation was in aversive than neutral condition in the hippocampus and the neurocortical cortex. And then we further linked the reactivation with behavioral performance and found that hippocampal reactivation could positively predict associative memory of face object pairs on both aversive and neutral condition. Due to the hub role of hippocampus, we further investigate how emotional tagging modulated hippocampal functional organization, and we found that emotional tagging could initiate higher hippocampal functional connectivity with amygdala and neurocortical. We conducted a whole brain PPI analysis with hippocampus as seed and mainly focused on the amygdala and the neurocortical regions. Data extracted from these 2 regions were submitted into 2 phases by 2 emotion conditions ANOVA, and it revealed significantly interaction effects on both amygdala and the neurocortical regions. That is, higher hippocampal connectivity was in the aversive than neutral condition only during the emotional tagging, but not during the initial encoding phase. So based on these results, we further investigate how such emotion-enhanced hippocampal connectivity contributed to associative memory performance. And we only focused on the emotional tagging phase. Another 2 emotion conditions by 2 memory states ANOVA was conducted. And in amygdala hippocampal connectivity, we found that significantly main effect of emotion, that hippocampal connectivity was greater in aversive than neutral condition. And we also further linked the connectivity with behavioral performance, and there was a marginally correlation between hippocampal amygdala functional connectivity with the associative memory. As for the hippocampal neurocortical connectivity, there are both main effects of emotion and memory. That is, this connectivity was greater in aversive than neutral condition, and also greater for face-object associations later remembered than forgotten. And this connectivity has could significantly predict associative memory only in the aversive condition. And also the hippocampal amygdala connectivity could marginally predict associative memory only in the aversive condition, but not neutral condition. Moreover, we further to investigate how such functional coordination of amygdala, hippocampus, and the neurocortical regions contributed to the emotion-tagged associative memory. So we conduct a mediation analysis. The model indicates significant mediating effect of hippocampal neurocortical connectivity on the positive correlation between amygdala hippocampal connectivity and the emotion-tagged associative memory. Okay, finally, in conclusion, our findings demonstrate that emotional tagging could retroactively facilitate memory integration for related neutral events and might through the increasing reactivation of initial memory and strengthening hippocampal functional connectivity with the emotion and memory circuits. Okay, so I'd like to thank my master supervisor, Dr. Qin, supervised me to perform this research, and also my PhD supervisor, Gilin, helped me improve this research. Okay, thank you for listening.